You're listening to Podcast PXN, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Let's do this. What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 100. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Brindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the man who needs to complete the Master Chief Collection, Christian Macias, at ISO Christian on Twitter, the pride of PlayStation, Sean Babiak, the Nintendo aficionado, Roshan, at Roro on Twitter, and Gage, who is escaping from Tarkov at Gilbo Biggins. Welcome, everyone. We brought everyone along this week.
Hello.
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 The big 100.
Yes.
Triple digits, baby.
Triple digits. We're not looking back.
I had a rough day at work today. I forgot to draw on my whiteboard saying like 100.
Oh man, that ruined the whole thing, Chris. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll do it as
Have
your
to delay
podcast.
episode 100 now.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN and you will find us on there, as well as twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is episode 100, answering listener questions and more celebrations as well. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Passing it to you, Ro.
Hello, I shall be your host for the PXN News of the Week, and then we're going to get to the topic of the show, obviously. But the first one to start off today is the Pokemon Presents, which I enjoyed very much. But before I get to everyone's opinions, I'm just going to go through a quick little rundown of everything that we saw, and then we can talk about it amongst ourselves once I'm done. I'm going to kind of skip over the ones that I don't think were super huge, at least for this audience, but I'll just mention that Pokemon Cafe Mix got a little bit of a revamp, and I think there's going to be new content coming to Pokemon Masters EX, which is another mobile game as well. Again, if you guys want to talk about that once I'm done going through the show notes here, just let me know. But more for our taste, I'm going to start off with Pokemon Unite. It's coming to mobile platforms on September 22nd. And Mamoswine and Sylveon are also coming as playable Pokemon. And I think even before these two Pokemon come, we're supposed to be getting Blastoise as well as another playable Pokemon character. So that's something to look forward to if you are into Pokemon Unite. But even bigger news, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl got a new trailer. And it showed off a couple of new things. And I think, personally, it looked a bit better than the first trailer that we got. So that was obviously a good thing. But it featured more customization options for your trainer, which has been happening since Pokemon X and Y. So that's good that they're continuing that. But this is the first time I think a remake has actually gotten the trainer customization options. That didn't happen in Omega Ruby or Let's Go. So that's pretty cool. You customize your Pokeballs, the Union Room as well for online and local gameplay. Pokemon Follow You, like in Pokemon Let's Go, and a new Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Light will be released on November 5th. And as well as that, we also got Pokemon Legends Arceus. We saw that there's going to be new regional forms, but the only Pokemon we saw showing that off were Growlithe and Braviary. But I'm sure we could expect some other Pokemon as well. You can catch Pokemon from wandering in the wild and use the environment for your advantage, like hiding in some tall grass. And obviously the dodge roll is really cool as well. But there's also a combat turn queue. Speed determines which Pokemon goes first, and combat styles were also introduced, such as Agile and Strong. Agile combat style is for faster attacks, and Strong and Heavy, the Strong combat style is just for heavy and slower attacks. So we saw quite a bit of Pokemon Arceus and obviously Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I'll start with you, Daniel. What did you think of the Pokemon Presents and the new trailers that we got for mainly Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Legends?
Yeah, Legends Arceus is probably the one that I and many others are most excited about because it's what many people wanted for so long for a Pokemon game, an open world like exploration type Pokemon game where you're just, given this giant beautiful open world, and it looks It looks okay. Like, I'm not gonna say it's like Breath of the Wild pretty or anything like that, but it's definitely like cool to see like Pokemon in such an open world setting. Like, and the gameplay we got, I thought looked pretty good. It's not gonna, rival the graphically intensive games on PS5 or Xbox Series X, but it still looks like a really fun time, and it's Pokemon, so I'm sure that's gonna get a very large audience just because of that, and something that fans have asked for so many years.
Christian, what did you think?
Yeah, like Dan, something about, I think for me, the water effects. I know it's a Nintendo game, just felt off to me. But like, I saw a lot of TikTok reactions to this today. I had a busy day, so I didn't get to catch the present. Well, it was early over here, so I didn't catch it live, but I didn't get a chance to like fully watch the whole thing on YouTube. But I got to see some reactions and some like just catching up on Twitter, and everyone seems to be like loving what they're seeing for Arceus. And as a lapsed Pokemon fan like myself, who hasn't really played a Pokemon game since like, I don't know, gosh, the DS maybe, even before then, like more serious, it was Game Boy Color for me is when I was really into it. This like really excites me, like Dan said. Like I am ready to give Pokemon another shot. Just because the conceit of a 3D world and just exploring it, like kind of exciting. That's literally what being a Pokemon trainer is all about. So yeah.
I will say
across the world.
I just want.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry for cutting you.
That's copyright infringement right there. You're real close.
Oh my god. I just wanted to say, water in Nintendo games have actually been really good lately. So to see the Pokemon like not do that, it's not good, because like even Pokemon Origami King, beautiful water. Like Odyssey, beautiful water. Like they've been doing really good. So it's kind of not good to see the graphics not to kind of keep up that trend going on. But Sean, what did you think of the Pokemon Presents?
Well, actually, so I'm not a PC gamer. I'd actually kind of like to give Unite a chance on mobile, just to kind of see. I've seen some videos like Christian was kind of saying with TikTok and everything. Like it looks like a very user-friendly MOBA, and I've never been big into MOBAs. So that would kind of be interesting just to dive into, almost like when, I guess you could say, older gamers were playing Fortnite on mobile, just to kind of give that a try, type deal. I mean, obviously the highlight is Arceus, but I do have an issue with watching the Pokemon show when I was a kid and then seeing Gyarados in a game, and then he's like the size of you. I don't remember that as a kid. I'm just saying, he's giant. Like, why is it the same size as you? But it oddly just feels like a kid version of Breath of the Wild, but in the vein of Ni no Kuni, because obviously we know like Ni no Kuni, the first one, stole a bit when it came to the monster catching of Pokemon. So you kind of saw that open worldness with it. It's hard to tell if it's gonna actually be something though that I pick up, to be honest with you. I love Red and Blue. I think I got out of it after Ruby and Sapphire, and I just never got back into it. I don't know if anything is going to make me get back into it. Daniel, I tried to kind of go with him when it came to Pokemon Go on the mobile, but my main complaint back then, and I know they changed things up, was that you couldn't battle anybody, and that's what didn't interest me. And I know obviously that wouldn't be the same thing, but it does look cool as far as like sneaking around and catching them, because I never understood the creature part, that you have to beat up these creatures in order to catch them. So I like the fact that you could maybe sneak up on them and then actually capture them that way. Probably depending on the type and everything like that. But yeah, very, very, very good show off in my opinion.
Paige, what did you think of the Pokemon Presents?
I like the Pokemon.
Yeah, I like Growlithe, was really cute.
I'm not a Pokemon guy. The last one I played would have been, oh god, Pokemon Sapphire on the Game Boy Advanced SP, I think. In the mostly in the back seat, waiting for the streetlights to come by so I can see it and play it.
Yeah.
But, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But no, I don't have much to say, so I'm not even gonna I don't know. It looks cool. I'm glad that Pokemon fans are happy. It looks cool, but I've been out of the loop when it comes to Pokemon for quite a while.
And something like Pokemon Arceus wouldn't be something that would interest you, being an open world thing. Is that like that's probably like the one thing that I could say, hey, if you're not a Pokemon fan, is this something that might bring you in, and that's not doing something for you?
That's made me consider it more than most Pokemon, because for the most part they've stayed pretty well similar, except for like the
Yeah.
spin-off titles, but just different graphics, different art styles. But the open world aspect is interesting, and that did kind of pique my interest. Where it's like I'll keep an eye on this. You know what I mean?
Right. For sure. All right. Well, cool. I'm glad everybody was able to share their Pokemon Presents opinions, and now we shall move on to
Ash's
the
mom.
next story. Oh, sorry. Oh, Ash. Yes. Another time. That's another podcast. Moving on to the
After
next
dark.
story. Oh, there we go. Podcast.
Dude, it's
fiction.
terrible.
Nice.
I love it.
And they're not dry erase markers.
Oh no. That's just for whiteboard now. Oh man. The next story is Sea of Thieves, A Pirate's Life. The Sea of Thieves in general got its most busiest month in June when the expansion released, seeing 4.8 million active pirates out on the open seas. I think that's awesome. I think that bodes very well for the franchise. And Christian, do you think, is this something that you wanted to get into, Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life? Is something that you checked out at all? And as well, do you think there's more expansions coming in the future because of
Yeah.
how well this did?
This is something that I wanted to check out, and that I think I still, nope, I uninstalled it last week. I used to keep handy on my PC just at all times, because the Sea of Thieves like legitimately rocks. Like that game is so much fun, and like credit to Game Pass, this obviously contributed to like the number of people who check this out. Like, oh my god, pirates are coming to Sea of Thieves, and it's available on Game Pass, and I have an Xbox. Like, let me go check this out now. So like, that is so cool, and I hope to see the team at Rare continue to do cool crossover stuff like this. It doesn't have to be crossover, just stuff to make the game just more of like a, I don't know, like a service title for people to continuously come back. I wish that I had friends to check this game out with, is all I'll say. That's the only reason why it's not on my console anymore, my PC. I didn't know Dan had it.
Game Pass, of course. I played similarly to Christian. I just don't ever have people to play with, so like I don't ever play it. But like I played the first, I think the first 2 missions of the Pirate's Life DLC, and I thought it was super cool. And I don't know why I didn't go back to it. Probably the same reason why I have a mile-long list of games that I haven't finished. But yeah, we gotta get together. Everyone who wants to play some Sea of Thieves, go out on the long adventure in the seas and such.
Look for booty.
Yeah, look for. I see what you did there.
Oh my goodness. Any other thoughts about Sea of Thieves, guys, before I move on to the next story?
It's a game I've always wanted to check out. Since I guess the reincarnation of it, I honestly think it's a better success story than No Man's Sky. Because No Man's Sky really overpromised, and I don't think that it was that Sea of Thieves overpromised. I think they were kind of forefront as far as like that it was going to be a plan with everything, but unfortunately, gamers for the most part don't like to hear a plan. They want everything all at once, and I think the way that Rare's trickled everything out over the past couple of years has kept the interest just going and increasing every often. I mean, yes, the Captain Sparrow stuff was a must get. I mean, with any pirate things, but like the videos I think help too. I mean, we all know like the Kraken or what's the video where like you see the guy like yell captain, and then somebody says what, and look, and then you just see a giant ship, and just hilarity ensues type deal. So like we all know like the videos that's created, and I think them fostering that and being in a sense the anti Nintendo and not taking that stuff down, I think has only helped that community.
Yeah, I think the success story that we're seeing is that, I mean, Sea of Thieves when it launched, it was kind of a tough sell, right? Like I could see thousands of people booting this game up thinking it's just any other game, and maybe playing solo, and it's kind of like, oh, this this is really awful, and they leave. And then, similar to what Sean said, you see the clips, and then you're like, oh, okay. And then you check it out with friends, and that's when Sea of Thieves really shines. And I would agree that it's a better success story than No Man's Sky, only for the fact that No Man's Sky, like you said, overpromised, and so over the years has become the game that like we were promised, as opposed to Sea of Thieves. Launching with, like you said, Rare was upfront with what the game was, and then evolving to something greater over the years. But yeah, I have to echo what Christian said, that Sea of Thieves is so fucking good. If you get a group of 3 or 4 people together, and it's just the banter, it's the navigating, it's the quiet moments, that game is really something special. And as somebody who grew up playing Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, I'm so happy that a game like this came from Rare, because they were on the bench for quite a while. They were on a bench for quite a few years, and then Sea of Thieves came out, and I'm glad that they're getting the success that they deserve.
Hey, Connect Sports was good.
Oh God.
Moving on to the next story. GTA 3, Vice City, and what is the other one here? GTA
San
Vice City
Andreas.
and San Andreas, yes, are potentially getting remakes. Reading from Kotaku, after months of rumors and speculations, Kotaku has learned from sources that Rockstar Games may be remastering 3 classic Grand Theft Auto games. Currently, it appears these games will be released later this fall for a multitude of platforms, including the portable Nintendo Switch. For the past year, rumors have swirled on Twitter, Reddit, and various message boards that Rockstar is working on remakes or remasters of its classic PX2 era Grand Theft Auto titles. These rumors only grew in popularity as Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, used DMCA takedowns to remove classic GTA mods from the internet while announcing that the publisher had 3 remastered games in development. All right, so Gage, are you excited for potentially these original Grand Theft Auto games to come out, and do you think this affects anything with GTA 6? Or does it matter? The Rockstar is just so huge. They could be working on both, and it doesn't matter. But are you excited for the GTA remake, Gage?
I am less excited than you might think. I don't know what it is about. I don't know what it is about the GTA games, but I feel like Rockstar is. I feel like GTA 5 has gotten so big and so popular, and like we've all joked about, like we're sick of hearing about it. It doesn't make it any less sort of revolutionary and just they're at the forefront of like technology. Whenever they release a new game, it's always pushing the limits. But I feel like that kind of intrinsically ties the enjoyment of a Grand Theft Auto to the era in which it releases. Like, I don't know if I'm articulating this well, but like GTA 3 was fun because when you play GTA 3 for the first time, you're like, holy crap, how is this possible? GTA 4 was immense amounts of fun for the exact same reason. The Euphoria engine that they use and the ragdoll physics and the cars getting deformed. But like, I don't know how well these games are gonna do. And the wording is interesting too, because they say they're kind of like flirting with the definitions of remaster and remake, because they're being remade in Unreal Engine, but they've said that they want to keep the gameplay as close to the PS2 era as possible. So are we going to get some like really just unsettling high-res textured, objects and people, but they're still animated and play like that? I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really all that excited, and what I am excited for is the potential that if these do well, that they might remake Red Dead Redemption, because I will die on the hill that the original Red Dead Redemption is still the best game that Rockstar has ever made. And that game holds up extremely well in terms of its audio and voice acting, so all they would need to do is remake it in Red Dead 2's engine, and the map's already made. And there was some stuff way back when Red Dead 2 released where I saw some clips going around of like adult Jack Marston voice lines coming to John Marston when you were playing the epilogue, and nobody really knew what was going on. And I was kind of hoping for a Red Dead remake, and it seems like maybe that's still on the table. So that's what I'm really excited for. Sorry to go on a huge tangent, but that's
there's a lot to unpack there. But Gage, I want to start with this one question for you.
Yes.
Did you know that part of the Red Dead Redemption 1 map is in RDR2, and there's just nothing there? Like there's people, there's just like nothing you can like really interact with.
Yeah, the entirety of it is in there. Yeah, you can
It's
go
so
all the way.
freaking cool.
It's so cool. Why is that there? It's for. Come on, man. You gotta you gotta do it. It's their best game. I'm sorry, John Marston. Arthur Morgan's great, but John Marston in RDR1 is just he's top tier. And then just to answer your last one, I don't think this is affecting GTA 6 at all. Rockstar has so many teams in so many countries. It's not even funny. I don't think this is a small hiccup for them, if anything. I think GTA 6 is still pumping ahead exactly how they want it to.
May I just ask, what the hell are you smoking, Gage? This game is gonna kill it when this comes out. I don't care what you say, Gage. This is freaking
the remakes.
Yeah.
You know what they're gonna? People are gonna buy it and they'll play it for like a weekend and then never touch it again. Just like Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Oh, come on! But
Master Chief as well.
here's the
Hey now, let's not get ridiculous.
So
Okay. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
I agree with you to a certain extent, Gage, about, GTA needs to live in its time or whatever, but I feel like in these three games situation, I feel like GTA 3 is the only one that fits that mold where it's like I would not go back and play GTA 3. San Andreas and Vice City, I absolutely will go back and play again if they remaster them, and will be excited to do so.
You can play the whole thing.
Well, yeah, maybe not the whole.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's just because I personally don't have.
Right, Christian.
But that's just because I personally don't have enough time. If I had time, like if I was a kid again and playing something, like I would absolutely go through Vice City's freaking environment. The setting was so fantastic. The music, the lights, the neon lights, everything was so good. And if people play San Andreas, the first thing I want you to do, if you're playing on Xbox, YYXBALL down up spawns a jet in. Yes, let's do it.
It ruins all your achievement progress.
I don't care.
You're welcome.
Say it. I'm gonna say it. All right.
All right. Oh no.
There's this great quote from critically acclaimed film, Rian Johnson directed Star Wars movie The Last Jedi, where Kylo Ren says, "Let the past die. Kill it if you have to." Listen, Rockstar has to sell me on rebuying a fucking 10-year-old game for the third time on PS5 this fall. You want me to go back and buy 3 PS2 games to play on my Switch? You're fucking nuts. You're fucking nuts. I'm not gonna do it. I'm sorry. I have too many games to play. I have to play Halo Master Chief Collection, apparently. You know what? If you remaster GTA 4, now we're talking. I would gladly play Nico Bellic's story again, because that story rips.
Wait.
And rant.
Really? Man, I hated GTA 4 story. I thought
It's the best
so
GTA.
good.
It's the best GTA.
It's so good. See, I think you might have to retry it, because when I played GTA 4 for the first time, I also did not enjoy it. I made it like halfway through the story and then I just dicked around. But give it a shot. It's way better than you think. It is so good, especially the second half of that story. It's so good. It's so good. Once you get to the news reporter, man, things start going top tier. It's
I
so
will
good.
say that they don't age well. I played the remaster, or not the remaster, but they re-released them on PS4 through the digital shop. So I did check them all out. It's the same problem with Rockstar that I have currently still. The control schemes obviously are incredibly dated. It's like when you go back and play an old Resident Evil game with the tank controls, when you can't remove the camera or anything like that. So if they do not change the controls, do not expect to be like Christian was saying, engage, like spending more than an hour or two just for nostalgia's sake, because that will get old incredibly quick. I will say the best one to still go back to, in my opinion, is Vice City, minus the lighting, because we all remember the first time that you got the sun in your eyes and you're like, okay, I can't see where I'm driving. But it does have the best music of the three, given that that's the one that they were still able to hold the licenses with at the time. And that's probably going to be like another thing that you kind of have to think about too, is now granted, Rockstar probably has all the money in the world, but they might not still have the same licenses. So you might not be driving down the same streets, listening to the same songs you were, besides obviously Laszlo, to basically hear everything, because that was something I put with every single one of the GTA games, minus 4, because honestly, I'm really in Daniel's camp as far as 4. 4, I'm not a fan of. I'm sorry if that hurts everybody's feeling, but I'm also not huge on 5 either. I if anything, I want Gage's dream of Red Dead Redemption remake,
Yes.
because that, in my opinion, is one of their best games that they ever made.
Right. Moving
What a
on.
great
Oh, yeah.
conversation we just had.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was very good. Good job, guys. Moving on to the next story. Abandoned is doing some. What is Abandoned doing? That is the question that I will pose to you guys very soon. But I'm just reading from IGN, Joe Scrubbles. There can be few games that have had as long, hard, and strange a road to release as upcoming Abandoned. The game has been hit with conspiracy theories, its marketing plagued by technical issues, and Karaman, he's the main head, the head of the studio that you usually see in those videos on Twitter, has made marketing. Yeah, Hassan. Yes, has made marketing decisions he now wishes he could take back. After huge backlash to the game's latest mishap, which much touted real-time trailers app went live after multiple delays without any new trailer content to show for it, the community around the game began looking deeper into Blue Box's history to try and work out exactly what the Dutch developer had been before all of this. And this is a quote from Hassan. I knew that I shouldn't take a look at what people say, but as soon as I opened Twitter and saw these reactions, I was like, the thing is, people are disappointed and people are frustrated and angry. And the thing is that they're calling me or Blue Box a scammer. That is the biggest thing that even today is still bothering me. So I'm just going to do a quick little rundown because a lot has happened since Abandoned was first revealed all those while ago. But the real-time app came out on the PlayStation 5, and it introduced a trailer that was running in real time. And essentially what that means, instead of it being compressed video, it's running real time on your PlayStation 5. So if you're watching it on your PlayStation 5, you get a better feel of what the game is going to look like rather than watching a compressed YouTube video on your PS4, which in theory is pretty cool. Apparently it didn't work out as well as they were hoping, and fans noticed that and were not happy about that. And Hassan admits as well that it turned out to be a big disaster, and people were not very happy with it. He said people were very disappointed, as well as it having technical difficulties, which he admits. He says the delays were caused because of engine issues, and the trailer that was released on the app with the 5 GB patch was a trailer that had already been released on Twitter, which people were expecting some new footage. So that also added to the backlash as well. Hassan also says that the trailer that was released on the app, there is a 30-second cut of that he hasn't released yet. My question is, why not at this point? Just release it on YouTube or something. I feel like people just want to see more of this game, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be the real-time thing, especially now that didn't go so well. But yeah, I want to ask you guys, I know earlier when this game was announced, the conspiracy theories are still going on whether he's connected to Kojima or not.
Gage.
I want to know if anybody's I want to know if anybody's opinions have changed since this has started. And I'll leave the floor to you guys because I've been interested, but I don't think I've been as invested as some of the other people here. So what are your thoughts since the initial release of the trailer?
Gage.
I'll let Gage share because
I know
he's like, yeah.
All right, y'all really want me to do this, huh? Okay, so here's the thing. My thinking on it has changed slightly. I still think. So somebody brought up the point that this has all been handled really sloppily. If it is some sort of like big theatrical, it's actually something else type, Kojima-like thing. And I kind of do see that where this has just kind of been fumbled. Even if it is supposed to be like a big gimmick, it's still kind of coming off really poorly. So I've heard some people say that maybe it's Konami and Kojima isn't involved, and then they're trying to do something Kojima-esque, because it kind of has that feel to it where it's like this is somebody copying something that usually goes a lot smoother. But my thing is, and this is coming from somebody who's not a conspiracy theorist at all, and when it comes to things that actually matter, So I don't really have that track record, but this is something that it's just like, guys, Sony's comfortably involved with them. So and Sony is, as of late, extremely ruthless with what they put up with and what they don't. So they obviously saw something behind closed doors a while ago that made them say, yeah, this is something that we want to have exclusivity for and that we also want to fund. And either that means that they are a legitimate indie studio who showed them something really fucking awesome and they're downplaying it ever since, or it means that they maybe aren't who they say they are, and this is Konami or possibly Kojima. But I mean, the more it goes on, the more it seems like it's somebody mimicking what Kojima does. But I mean, for me, it's clearly not just an indie team. Also, the real-time experience app also had like an incredible amount of like localization and languages for a small indie team, and they have, I think, 5 or 6 studios helping them, like different teams like that are environmental teams or animation teams. It's all a little fishy, guys. It's a little sus, as the kids say. That's just my personal opinion.
I have since pivoted to where I don't think it's anything Kojima or Konami related at all.
Really?
And like, first and foremost, like I wouldn't. I'm not one of the dudes that's ever gonna like get actually mad and start blaming Hassan and the whole team at Blue Box for
for sure.
releasing something that's disappointing. Like, I'm just not gonna do that. Like, I would rather be like positive, like on Twitter and stuff. So I guess for those people who are like contributing to Hassan's depression, just stop. There are more important things in life. But 2, I will admit, it is very disappointing, dude. There was a quote somewhere, and I've been trying to find it this whole time, where he's talking about like, yeah, if you don't want to have this thing on your console, just delete it, and we'll just tweet out the next trailer. And it's like, well, then what's the point of the whole app then to begin with? Why are we doing this? And I like, even though I am a fan of obscure like marketing, it's been so sloppy. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I know you're a small team, but it's like, make sure your stuff is ready to go and done, and check everything before you start pressing the release button, because that's just gonna hurt you in the long run, I think. And I think it has. And that the whole debacle of the release led to, is Blue Box a scam, which led me to go down the history of the company. It's like, yeah, they're releasing broken games that they never fix, or they just abandon projects. Maybe that's what abandon is after all. They're just gonna abandon this whole project.
Yeah, I will say this is the perfect. I don't know if it's a controversy. I don't know if it's a scandal in the industry, but this is the perfect moment, because I'm somebody who cares neither about Metal Gear Solid or Silent Hill. So I have no invested interest in this. I'm just watching it from the outside. But what I will say is the I gotta give some tough love here. When the game was first announced and people were sort of theorizing about it based off of a lot less, some people were getting way too heated at the developers, and I was like, yo, knock it off, don't do that. I stuck up for them. But at a certain point, it's kind of like the saying, freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. If they're getting hate now, it's a little bit, you're not above sort of criticism, and I think criticism towards them is definitely not unwarranted right now, especially regardless of the theories, but just the whole delaying the app and then and stating in a video that they want to delay the app because they want gamers to have the proper first impression, and then releasing the app and the first impression is a 4-second GIF that they had already tweeted on Twitter. It's kind of, you're playing with fire and you're getting burnt, and then you're whining about being burnt. It's I'm tired. I'm just tired. I want this to come to an end one way or another.
Yeah. You guys both made great points, and I agree a little bit with each of you. I do think that it's tough to put this on the developers completely, and like Christian said, this is not good for someone's mental health, just piling on. To a certain extent, I don't think that he intended for it to get this far. I just think it was just botched very poorly, unfortunately, and kind of got us to this point. So yeah, hopefully they can release some more stuff on the game, and people can actually see what the game is, and possibly recover from this. But yeah, I'm pulling for them, and I hope that they deliver at some point. So,
John, have any thoughts on the abandoned debacle? Oh. John?
Oh,
Sorry. No
no,
problem.
you're good. I don't. I honestly don't. The only thing I will say, just like it's not something I followed at all, really, because until I see a game, that's when I feel like I'll follow.
We haven't
Unless
really
you want to
seen
tell me
anything.
that, yeah. Unless you want to tell me there's a rumor about a franchise that I want to see. The one thing I will say, and I liked what you were saying at the beginning, Chris or Roro, is that whole trailer for optimized for your system. I mean, granted, this fell. It's everything seemed to fall flat and fail. That idea, I think, is really cool because I don't think we see that too often. That hey, whatever I'm watching on my phone or my tablet or even my computer is not necessarily exactly what you're going to see on your console, and to actually see what your system or even if say PC like to show exactly what that is that you're going to be playing, like everything from it. I think that is actually a really cool idea, and I hope more games are able to take a note on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add some stuff that I forgot to mention when I was talking at the beginning, but kind of talking about how Blue Box is being seen as a scammer, and I don't want to. Not that I don't want to feed into it. I just don't want. I don't want to be a person that, like Christian was saying, that contributes to Hassan's sadness and stuff like that. But it is part of the story. So I just wanted to say that they have since walked back certain things that they've said about the game, like it being an open world horror game. That's not going to happen anymore. Apparently, it's going to be a linear horror game, and they mention it's because of how graphically heavy the game is going to be, and as well the first trailer where it like in the forest. Those were not particularly the company's own designs. It was like assets bought off of Unity, and they didn't really do too much in that trailer. That just them. But yeah, those are just a couple of things that I can understand.
Isn't that a
being
little
an issue,
weird though?
yeah.
Isn't that a little strange?
It is a little strange, yeah.
You know, Sony signed up and said sure, and they haven't even made anything that we've seen that the public's seen, right? It's a bit strange. That's all I'm saying. And also again with the whole sort of like playing with fire and burning yourself a little bit. I mean, I get the whole what was the first thing? Abandon equals S blank L. Could have meant survival, absolutely. But then the next big thing you tease is a guy with an eye patch after everybody already thinks you're involved with Kojima. Like there's got to be a little bit of forethought, right? In terms of how that might look. Like it's again, as somebody who doesn't care if it's Metal Gear or Silent Hill, the people that you know are already theorizing that your next move is to do the eye patch thing. It was like, it's a little questionable.
Yeah.
Maybe Hassan's got the maybe he's got like a criticism kink on Twitter or like
Oh, God.
I mean maybe. Hey man, live your life.
Oh,
I won't shame him.
I won't shame him. Hell no.
Just going to do a quick one for 12 minutes. It's getting some good reviews. It comes out later tonight. I am very excited. The cast is crazy. This is a cool little indie game that is all about a time loop. If you're trying to break out of the time loop, you've got 12 minutes to break out of the time loop. And it has Daisy Ridley, so that's I'm in. Sign me up.
Willem Dafoe.
William
I was gonna say,
James
William
McAvoy.
Dafoe is more, bro.
That's
Man
true. You
went
got the Green
straight
Goblin.
to
as
Disney
well.
Ridley.
She's Ray. I mean, come on. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything else to say besides that you're excited. Yeah, Christian.
I don't care if some outliers are saying that they just didn't like it at all. I am still very excited to try it out for myself.
Me
Can't
too.
wait. Tonight.
Yes. Tonight. All right.
I'm
yeah,
extremely sorry to jump in.
No,
I'm
go ahead.
extremely pleased because this game has been on my radar for a long time. I had no idea it was releasing tonight until just now. So that's extremely exciting.
There we go.
Is it coming? It's coming to Steam, right or no?
It is,
don't-
but tomorrow, I'm sorry, 15 hours from now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's not bad. I've got vacation, so that's cool. I did not know it was coming out, and that's an awesome surprise.
Heck yeah. All right. And our next story is about Fortnite and adopting, another popular video game into their video game. One of the developers on Among Us made to Twitter to kind of show off what he thinks is blatant copying. He showed off the loop control map for the Fortnite imposter mode, which obviously copies Among Us. There's an imposter, you got to find the imposter. But he also finds not only the mode being very similar, but the map itself, which is called loop control. He thinks it looks very similar to Skeld on Among Us. Obviously, if you're watching or listening, you can't see it, but I don't think it looks that similar. But I'll ask you guys if you guys think it's a huge ripoff, as well as the mode itself. I believe we talked about this a while ago when they were thinking about doing it, or when it was like a fan creation. Now it's an actual mode in the game. Sean, what do you think about the imposter mode, and do you think it's not in good taste, or is it just what Epic really does?
I read about this earlier, and then I finally was able to see a picture of it, and I'm with you, Ro. I feel like you could almost say that about every map from top down. If you look at it, you can find similarities between top down maps. So I don't know. I feel like it's a stretch. But I will say, I mean, we know that Fortnite has, in a sense, a history of that. But I wouldn't say necessarily copying ideas or outright copyright itself. I just think they're borrowing and trying to make something new. It's like when we all thought that every game developer was going to steal Breath of the Wild's climbing mechanics, and we still have really yet to see that. I don't see any reason why Among Us is doing fine, Fortnite is doing fine.
No,
it just
dude.
surprised me that we get upset with that.
But Among Us is a small team of barely even 10 people now, and Epic is this mega corporation. For them to come in and take from this small team who they came out and were like, yeah, we would have worked with them if they came to us and asked them, is such a sign of corporate overstep for me. It's just gross. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're fine. I feel like, especially the pictures, at least just in my mind, I don't think it's necessarily black and white. I feel like it's a lot of gray, because I don't see that massive of a difference to me, just me personally.
Oh, we're talking in terms of the map? The map was a stretch for me too. But the ripping off of the game mode is what I'm referring to.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I feel like I'm more or less comparing PUBG. And they ended up suing Epic, if I remember right, for Battle Royale. So I can kind of see what you're saying, Christian, as far as that. It's just, you kind of go with the trends too with gaming. So I don't know what standpoint they have as far as copywriting essentially their modes.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I agree with Christian wholeheartedly. It is exactly again, not to dismiss your point of view, because this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm objectively right, but to me it is clear as day an absolute ripoff, and that's what Epic Games does. And this is the thing with the shades of gray in the industry, because we are in a very pro-developer, as we should be. We're in a very pro-developer sort of mind space in the industry in terms of consumers and what we're aware of and what we're advocating for. But that that means a lot of different things. The team that works on Fortnite is not some small indie team that's passionate about what they're doing. It's when it's a company as big as Epic Games, I'm not even sure that they have creative control. I'm sure that they just kind of get the orders from top down and do what they have to do. And I think it's extremely disappointing, because not only, like Christian said, is Epic a massive company that has way more resources and can easily just wait for something to happen and then just do a more polished version of it, but also Fortnite is well known for collaborating with other IPs. They've kind of made that their thing as of late. So they could have very easily reached out to this small indie team and probably paid them a sliver of what they pay Disney or Marvel or whatever the hell that they're collaborating with. And they didn't. They looked at what they saw and they saw that it was making headlines. And I'm sure that they started making up plans as soon as Among Us came out. And it's the same thing that Modern Warfare did when they brought out Warzone, because Battle Royales were trending and so on and so forth. It's unfortunate that I can't get more upset about it, because it's something that I'm not shocked that happened, but it is, in my mind, a blatant ripoff. Absolutely.
Yeah, Christian, you and Gage both, I agreed completely, and was exactly what I was gonna say. Like Epic Games, huge corporation, Innersloth is a tiny developer. Like this just doesn't feel right at all. That Epic is just giving them the shaft because I know some of you guys were saying that the maps don't seem that similar, but like the placement, like if you see other people talking about the placement of like the descriptions like cafeteria and weapons and like these areas that are named certain names, they're literally the same names in the same spots on the Epic map as well, which I don't know, that seems like more than a coincidence that those maps are that similar, but yeah, like you guys said, they collaborate with, you know, so many other companies and industries. You know, they could have easily done this with the indie developer, and the indie developer would have been ecstatic to work with them. So I don't know.
And I'll take it a step further. Epic has been like ripping off like people of color content creators online, taking their dance moves and like putting it into their game as like their own inspired dances that they profit off money, and they don't credit the original artists. As it's just what they do. Is it illegal? I mean, can you trademark a dance? I don't know, but it's kind of gross.
Yeah. I can you imagine if they did collaborate with Innersloth and there was a red Among Us astronaut skin in Fortnite? Can you imagine? That'd be amazing. Incredible. The last story, I believe. Let me check. Well, we have two more, but the last one is really quick. But the one before the last one is I closed it.
One might say the penultimate story of the day. Ooh.
Amazon Games reportedly ends rules that claimed employee personal projects. Amazon Games has reportedly eased up its guidelines that allowed the company to claim the rights of personal project worked on by employees outside of work hours. The elimination of the rules, which Bloomberg reports has come into force immediately, was apparently shared in a company email from the head of Amazon Games, Mike Franzi. These policies were originally put in place over a decade ago when we had a lot less information and experience than we do today. As a result, the policies were written quite broadly, Franzi reportedly wrote. So yeah, that's an interesting one. I feel like a lot of jobs have this where if you're working for a company, you can't make money on the side or do something creative. You like just work for us. That's your life. So this is good. This is a good thing that if you're working for Amazon, you could have a little indie thing on the side. I see this is obviously good news. Except that it was there in the first place, but good that they changed it. Yeah. Any thoughts before I move on?
How was this even a thing that Amazon thought was okay before this? Like what? I don't understand.
It's Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sadly a thing for some reason. I remember my girlfriend at the time, she worked like at an insurance brokerage and she wanted to write something and if she wrote that thing and made money off of it, that would be like against the company thing, and it has nothing to do with insurance. It's just something creative that they wanted to do at the time, but she couldn't do something like that just because it was in the contract. It's just it's very silly.
Crazy.
Very silly.
I replied to this the tweet that IGN put out to this article that I think you linked to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I replied to, but I saw somebody else reply like, this reminds me of the time Google took out from their mission statement, "Don't be evil." And it's like, why would you get rid of that? Why?
Like, that's pretty good advice, yeah.
Yeah.
They got some evil people that are working for them now. They had to get rid of that disclaimer.
Yeah.
Our final story before we move into the games that we're playing. This is for you, Christian. Another character. Yeah. we got Sonic and Tails. There was another one in between there as well. I don't remember if wasn't there another character in Super Monkey Ball, and Animania besides Sonic and Tails that was introduced?
I think it was just Sonic and Tails so far.
Okay, just Sonic and Tails. Well, another guy got introduced. Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza series has been introduced to Super Monkey Ball. Who's next is the question, Christian.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I did not expect this at all to begin with. Like, watching the video this morning of, like, him just running with in that hamster ball. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna play as you, but God, I can't wait to play this game again. Who's next? A question I didn't even fathom until this very second. Bro, I have no idea.
Master Chief.
No clue.
Oh my gosh.
Why not?
Yeah.
Put Mario in next.
Oh my god. I'm just thinking like maybe the Knights guy, Wizard Girl, they could have introduced. I'm just thinking Sega characters because I think that's what they're doing here.
Oh,
But
right.
yeah, that would be cool though. Maybe Persona. I think Sega and Atlas have a thing, so maybe we'll get Joker in there. That'd be nice.
Could you imagine?
I would like to. I would like that very much.
Is this gonna be
Or
game of
Morgana
the
even
year?
better.
Oh my God.
Sounds like it to me.
Super Monkey Ball better than Halo Infinite?
All right,
now.
Christian, calm down. Calm down now.
All right.
Moving on to the games that we are playing. Daniel, why don't you start us off?
Yes. So I've been playing Back for Blood beta and played with 2 other people on this podcast right now, both Gage and Ro. So yeah, we had some good times with it. I still am in the camp, and I know I'm probably in the minority in this group of people upset about this or super upset about this, but I still want the campaign versus mode. Like, I miss that. But I don't know. I feel like they're at least doing something original with their PvP mode, so I'm definitely interested in it still, and obviously still enjoy the heck out of the co-op campaign. And as we found out, guys, my gosh, it's freaking hard. Yeah. And Christian's typing on my line right now, and he's tell us about the other game right now that I played last weekend. And it's kind of a top secret game I'm not allowed to talk about, but I'm just going to kind of vaguely refer to it. You know, it has some crazy battles that are, happening. It might happen in
field.
It might happen in some field somewhere. But yeah, I had some fun with that.
Are you being serious? Like, for real?
Yeah, I played that this past weekend. But
How?
I'm not allowed to say. I'm not allowed
Okay.
to say. But yeah, we can talk off air. But yeah,
Holy
it was fun.
shit.
So, moving on.
That's all you can say.
Before I get sued by the 2-letter company that publishes this.
I just wanted to mention that I've also played Back for Blood as well. Had a lot of fun. Enjoyed the co-op campaign. Very hard. I agree. I also suck at it, but definitely lots of fun. Excited for the full game to release. Road 96 is another game that I played, which is a nice little indie game that came out earlier this week. It's basically a procedurally generated road trip game where you play as a random teen who is on the run trying to get to the border. Yes, Christian.
Are you sorry? You can keep going. Are you liking it so far? This is in my backlog still.
Yes, I am liking it so far. I will suggest you buy it on Steam and not on the Switch, which is where I bought it. But I am enjoying it a lot. If you're someone out there, I would say this game probably isn't on your list anyway, but if you're a person who doesn't want politics in your video games, don't play this. But if you are and you don't mind, I think it's a really good story, and I am enjoying it very much. And yeah, one of my favorite characters is in the game, Zoe, the girl that you play Connect 4 with in the backseat of a taxi. She lives up to the hype. I like her very much. But another game that I played is Avengers War of Wakanda. That came out earlier, I think yesterday, actually. Tuesday, yeah. And surprisingly, liking it a lot. I finished the campaign today. Black Panther is super fun to play. The story wasn't like super crazy or anything like that. It had some pretty get hype moments near the end. But yeah, it was a good campaign. And as I was saying before, this is the Taken King moment for Avengers. I don't think it is at that level, but it definitely got me back into Avengers for sure and excited for what's to come potentially. So yeah, I like a lot of people have been saying this kind of applies for a lot of the characters too, but this is probably the closest we're going to get to a solo Black Panther game possibly ever. And that kind of applies to like Clint and Kate Bishop and potentially the other characters that we might get in the future. So that's definitely exciting in of itself.
Speaking of
Christian,
speaking of Black Panther, can we just say how great Chadwick Boseman was in the new episode of What If?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
so good.
great job. It was a good episode.
I'll admit it.
I'll allow it. Christian, what have you been playing?
Okay, not that much. So don't roast me, okay? I've been watching my Neon Genesis Evangelion rebuild films, okay?
Nice.
But I did take a break from that, and I was like, I don't want to start a new game because 12 Minutes comes out next week, so I don't want to start Persona right now. And also Recompile is also coming out tonight, so what am I gonna play? I got FIFA 20 on my PS5. Play a few matches of that, and I did, and I won them all. Thank you, and that's it.
Sean, what have you been playing?
I have not played a single game besides mobile games this week. It's been a terrible work week, but we'll see what happens in this coming week. See it too. If anybody wants a job, let me know. Labor shortage is a real thing.
All right, and Gage, what have you been playing, sir?
I've been bouncing around quite a bit. I played the Back for Blood beta with you and Dan, as was mentioned, and I had a great time. It doesn't have the charm, I think, of the Left 4 Dead games. I don't really blame them for that. You kind of can't lightning can't strike twice, as they say. I think that the art design in Back 4 Blood is a little meh. Everything kind of looks very samey, but the gameplay is awesome, and that's exactly what I wanted. And I had a great time. I've been playing some Need for Speed Heat with my console pals because we are limited by what we can play for crossplay. And it's actually surprisingly enjoyable once you figure out how it plays, which is not... I'm somebody who doesn't play a lot of racing games, so my main go-to is the Forza Horizon games. So when I booted up Need for Speed Heat, I tried to play it like that, and it's very much not that. It's actually kind of shockingly like a souped-up version of Asphalt, the mobile games, but just a console quality version of that. And it's actually pretty fun. It's pretty good. It's a good time with friends, and the whole night mechanic where you have this sort of every time you flip it to nighttime, you earn your experience, and if you get caught by the cops, you lose everything. So it's kind of like a high risk, high reward type gameplay. It's actually pretty fun. And I played. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm going to. I played X Defiant, and it's under super strict NDA. Like if you have Windows in the room you're playing in, please cover them with blinds. Kind of strict.
Wow.
So
all right, so report him to Ubisoft right now.
all I'll say is that the NDAs are super strict. So fortunately, I cannot talk about it.
Oh,
Fortunately. Oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
I sure hope we don't get
LOL.
sued by some two-letter publishers and Ubisoft.
I think Ubisoft's got bigger things to worry about right now than suing me. If we're being honest.
God.
True.
That is very
Fair
true.
point.
Like get your shit in order, Yves. Come on.
Good point.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
Well, we're here. We've made it to the topic of the show, episode 100. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for watching, for being here. To Timo Plays, Puni Credi, I hope I said that correct, and everyone else in the chat, thank you so much. I just shouted them out because they have been the most active talking with Daniel and I in the chat. Very cool. So thank you for being here. And so before we get to the giveaway, we wanted to do some listener questions and some of our favorite moments for the show. And Christian, I heard that you had a listener question earlier, so before we get to mine, I wanted to ask, what was your listener question?
Yeah, Travail, friend of the good buddy of mine, wrote in and said, "What video game is most like The Green Knight in storytelling?" So if you haven't seen The Green Knight, you won't be able to answer this question. So shucks to you, I guess. So I think that's just a question for me and Gage. Is that right?
Yep.
I have not seen it yet. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought about this for the past 45 minutes or so. Travail, my answer to you is there are none. But also, there are kind of a few that maybe get close to it. If you haven't seen The Green Knight, it's a Middle English chivalric text about like honor, right? But The Green Knight, the film is like deconstructing that, so it's like postmodern in a way. It's like subverting expectations of like our own like modern approaches to honor and like I'm rambling about just themes here, but I would say Hellblade is a great like cool it's not one for one analogous to like what the Green Knight is, but it certainly has like meditates on serious themes like honor a little bit here. With Vikings, it's not necessarily knights, but it is Vikings. I'd also give a shout out to Soma, which is this indie game about like questioning what reality is and like temporality and what it means to be human, which isn't really the same as the Green Knight, but it is kind of like obtuse and obscure in that way. So if you're enjoying like narratives that aren't like very straightforward and kind of ambiguous, Soma might be another one for you. And that's about it. Maybe Inside, you could do like another ambiguous title that like you have to like really kind of tease out what the game means to you. It's not really going to tell you what you should take from it. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Where there's not really one game that's a one for one type thing. But I was thinking about it as well, and I think I actually forgot about Hellblade. But that in terms of atmosphere and tone, very much Hellblade. But you know what actually popped into my mind was in terms of its sort of psychedelic sequences, we'll call them.
I know what you're gonna say.
Far Cry 3. I got
Never
some
mind.
Far Cry. No, yeah, I got some Far Cry 3 vibes. I got in terms of the of like the sort of set pieces and the production of it. I couldn't help but feel that in some way when in Far Cry 3, every time you get up to the boss, or in the Green Knight, every time he needs to learn some sort of lesson or comes across a new stranger. It's especially the first one, the robber. That one especially gave me Far Cry 3 vibes. And yeah, I was thinking something like that. It's very, I don't even know if this is the right word, but when I was watching it, I thought it was very like cerebral. Like you just kind of sit there and you're just in it. You're enthralled. Now, granted, I was extremely inebriated when I watched it in the theater, and it was perfect. But yeah, I'd say Far Cry 3, and I was gonna say Witcher 3, but Hellblade's a better fit in terms of tone and atmosphere, I think. So that's kind of like the two that I would mash together and say this is kind of the Green Knight if it were a video game.
Someone actually said in the chat, Timo Plays said The Witcher. So he said Ghost of Tsushima plus The Witcher. So
what was your other one you're gonna say, Christian, that you thought it reminded?
Control, in terms of like it's not necessarily ambiguous, but it does have like lean heavily into atmosphere and tone.
Okay, I haven't played Control yet, so that's why that wouldn't be there for me.
You should rectify that.
I know. It's on the list.
As someone who hasn't seen the Green Knight, the closest game is For Honor.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it.
Actually, it's kind of pretty. You don't have to go see the Green Knight. You can just watch the For Honor cutscenes. It's pretty much the same thing.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Well, moving on to some of the questions that I got for us. Anybody in the chat, please feel free to also answer these questions. They're pretty general. You go on the internet, fun video game questions to ask your friends is pretty much what I got here. So the first question I have right here is a game that you wish you could experience for the first time. Daniel, what is a game that you've played that you wish you could re-experience for the first time?
So I think some of you may think that my answer would go one way, but I'm actually gonna go. We didn't get these questions ahead of time,
I'm sorry.
mind you. So this is on the spot, but I feel like this
yes.
is a good answer. BioShock, the original BioShock, because the way that game just mind melted my brain was just amazing, and the entire twist of the game, like, I don't want to spoil it if anyone in the chat hasn't played it, but the entire time you're just manipulated and coerced into a certain line of doing throughout the entire game. You're made to do certain things, and I just love the way it messes with you mentally. So I absolutely love that aspect of it. So I would love to replay that with not knowing what's happening.
Christian, what about you?
Skip me for now. Come back to me in a second.
Okay. Sean, do you have one?
Off the top of my head, I can think of two. One would be a PS2 exclusive, called PsyOps, and I don't know if too many people remember that game, but it was, in my opinion, very revolutionary for the time as far as all these psychic powers that you had. And I just remember just loving that game. I had dreams about that game because the guy was like just cool powers and all that stuff, and especially on a PS2, that was really awesome. And then, to be honest with you, it'll sound weird, but Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, I would love to play again for the first time, because that outside of Breath of the Wild, that is still my 3D favorite Zelda because of actually the time. I know a lot of people got turned off by that, but I actually did like the 3-day cycle, because once you figure out you have to use the song to kind of go back, and then all the masks you can get that affect everything. I mean, that game was amazing.
Gage, do you have a favorite game that you'd like to replay for the first time if you could wipe your memory?
Ooh, that's tough. Honestly, in terms of the value, the sheer amount of time and value I would get out of it, I would say maybe Fallout New Vegas, because
Ooh.
I was so enthralled with that when I played it for the first time. That's actually a small little tangent. I went into EB Games, which is the Canadian equivalent of GameStop. They're the same company. Actually, we're renaming.
Not
EB
anymore.
Games
Not
GameStop.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting renamed. So goodbye, EB Games, Electronic Boutique. So I went into EB Games with my grandmother. I was, oh my god, just entering high school or just about to enter high school. And it was one of those things where it's like, all right, $40, you can get a new game or you can get whatever. I picked 3 games I had never heard of out of a bin and played them all. Those 3 games, Fallout New Vegas, Mass Effect 2, and I think the third one was like, I don't know, Rogue Killer or something really awful. It doesn't matter. That was bad. But Mass Effect 2, I was like, "Yeah, this looks kind of cool. Let's play it." And then it's Mass Effect 2 and it's fantastic. And I was like, "Oh, look at this cool guy on the cover of this game. Let's play it." And played Fallout New Vegas. I was like, "Holy crap." But yeah, the sheer amount of time I spent in that game with the side quests and the different plot lines, I would love to experience that again, just because I know that I would have a good month and a half with it.
Nice.
So I'm going to give Christian as much time as he needs. So I'll go next, and then I'll go back to Christian.
Okay.
So the one that I would go with, the most recent one, would have to be Everhood, which I played for the first time this year. And I suggest if you're an indie guy, Christian, you should definitely check that one out.
Okay.
I would love to play that one again for the first time. But the one that I always go back to is Life is Strange. The first Life is Strange. Playing that in high school. Such emotions. I don't know if it would hit the same way as it did back then for me now, but it hits so well for me at that specific time in my life. I wonder if it would do the same if I were to wipe my memory and play it again now. I think I'll be able to figure that out with True Colors. Maybe it'll invoke those same emotions with me when that comes out. So Life is Strange is probably the top of the list. Below that is probably The Last of Us, despite playing that so many times. Anyway,
Ooh,
never having to wipe my memory for it. It still hits me just as hard as it did the first time. But I wonder. It would be nice to experience that for the first time again as well.
What a perfect segue, Ro, because when you asked this question, I immediately went to, of course, the answer is The Last of Us.
Mm.
And then I was like, you know what? Honestly, my first experience playing through that game was, like, for me, so perfect and, like, still resonates with me so strongly that I actually wouldn't want to replay it again for the first time. Like, I cherish those memories of me playing it through the first time, but I wouldn't change a single thing. I don't want to do it again. Like, it's too perfect in my mind. So then I had to think about, like, what game would I would actually want to do again, and I came across one that I could think of. And that's Metal Gear Solid 4, which, as a person who never played 2, only watched his cousin play 3, and can't remember most of 1, like, this is obviously like a game that I would want to play for the first time, like going back and playing 1 through 3, and then finally playing 4. And it's like all these things that reveals that game does contextualize with like the previous entries would be so amazing to experience for the first time again.
I just want to point out, Timo plays in the chat, says the Telltale's The Walking Dead. Season 1, that's an excellent answer. That is an
Yes.
incredibly good answer. That is actually the game where I don't even have to think about it. The Walking Dead Season 1, the final episode, that's the most I've ever cried at a video game ever in my life. I was
Wow.
weeping. I remember it vividly. It was a Friday night. The last episode came out. Everybody was talking about it at school. I was in high school at the time, and I knew exactly what I was going to do that day. Cut to 12 a.m. Everyone in my house is sleeping, and I'm weeping silently like a child, just
Oh, God.
weeping. And
Yeah.
you know what's brilliant about that game is that everybody got the saddest experience possible because it let you choose what was being said. I'm not spoiling it in the off chance that nobody's played this 13-year-old game, but that's the brilliance of the choose your own dialogue, is because it hit the hardest for everyone because you all got to choose what was said. And I remember that game so vividly. I was weeping. That's a great answer. That's a good answer, Timo
That was a
Plays.
good
That's a really
answer.
great answer.
And guys, I do
And-
apologize. I have to work super early tomorrow, so I do have to head off on the 100th episode.
No
But
problem.
Daniel, I did not expect us to do in the end, even though I missed a bunch, to do 100 episodes of these after moving in.
Yep.
That was my requirement for the record
It
when I
was.
moved in with Daniel.
Yep.
That like literally within like the first 2 weeks we had to start a podcast.
That's true. Yep.
Beautiful.
Love it.
All right, see you guys.
All right. See you,
Yeah,
Sean.
thank
See you later, Sean.
Jonas. All right, and I just wanted to shout out a couple of answers that we got in the comments.
You're listening to podcast PXN,
Sorry.
PlayStation, Xbox.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima, I think, was one of them. Assassin's Creed Origins and Red Dead Redemption 2, I think, was one of them, or some
Mario
of them that
2.
he wanted to choose.
Solid.
Hellblade was another one that Naresh shouted out. Timo Plays also agreed that Life is Strange is nostalgic, and he also gave the great answer of The Walking Dead. Yeah, I know we're running a bit long, guys. I have 2 more questions, but we could
You're
just
good.
do one
You're
if
good.
you prefer.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
good if everyone else is good.
Episode 100,
Yeah.
baby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last one is kind of a
Uh-oh.
Last
Uh-oh.
one.
We lost. We're
like,
left
"The
in
last
We're
one!"
left in anticipation row.
You
Oh,
want to keep
oh,
going?
there he
but then
is.
stop.
There he is.
am I here?
You're back, I think.
Sorry about that. You guys all froze for a second too, and I was like, oh no, what have I done? If you all freeze, then it's obviously me.
Yeah, you're-
But,
it's all right.
but what I said is that I'll ask you the last question now, so maybe you guys can think about it, because it's kind of a put you on your spot question as well, like the first one. But I'll ask the second one. So while you're answering this one, you have time to think about the very last question. So the very last question I wanted to ask you guys is, what video game did you want to adapt for a TV or a movie that hasn't been adapted yet? Maybe you guys already have in your head. I know this is one that I actually have to think about, so I'll let you guys dwell on that. But
Wait,
the second, oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I missed that. I was reading the chat. Is it a game that's getting adapted into a TV show, or a TV show, a movie that's getting adapted into a game?
The other way around. So like The Legend of Zelda is being adapted into a TV show. That could be your answer. So
I
like,
have the perfect
Yeah.
answer already.
okay.
I-
Does everybody have an answer for this already?
Not at
Daniel,
all.
You're good.
I'm
No?
still
Okay.
thinking. Yeah.
Not even a
Okay,
little
but-
bit.
I think the next question might be easier to answer. So we
Okay.
can get back to the what video game to TV later. But maybe this is harder, I don't know. But I have an answer. But what is your game of the year so far? Since we're halfway
I'm
through.
ready for that too.
Okay, great. Okay. I think this might be easier because we've played a lot of video games this year. And yeah, so Christian, since you're ready, what is your game of the year so far that we are halfway through the year? Crazy. That's insane. But yeah, what was your game of the year so
Dude,
far?
we're more than halfway. Like it's almost
That's
September
true.
already. Tomorrow's the
Yeah.
19th of August. What is time?
What?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
What
your
is
game
it?
of the year though?
Mario Golf Super Rush. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
It's- Nah, dude. You can call me a Sony pony all you want. Returnal is by far the best game I have played this year. It is so amazing, dude. In terms of like tone, atmosphere, ambiguous narrative, which I'm all about as this indie fuckboy living in Portland. Like, what else could I want from a Sony game with like a tight gameplay loop? I'm getting bits of narrative every time I'm like dying or entering new areas. The story is just like, it's just enticing. It's titillating, some might say. like I'm making a lot of jokes here, but like legit, like Returnal is one that I can't stop thinking about, and I already beat the game, got the secret ending. I haven't platinumed it, but I still think about it and like, wow, that story has like a really big impact on like it meditates on trauma. I still haven't satisfied like what my interpretation of the ending is, and I have so much fun just thinking about it. I got like 3 friends to play it recently, and like they like it, so like it's a cool game, man.
Still have to get on the Returnal train. Still have to get on. Yeah. So go ahead.
I have one that I was thinking of, and this just came out of nowhere. The Outer Worlds into a TV show. I think it would be super interesting because I love the humor of Outer Worlds and just like the madness of that world, and I feel like that would kind of fit well in a TV format. So I think that would be
Cool.
yeah, I think that would be kind of a unique one to kind of see, I guess.
Do you have a game of the year as well? This so far, at least.
Oh gosh, sorry, I was like doing like 20 things, so I didn't hear what.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's the Halo Infinite beta.
Actually, you might know. I'm just kidding. I can't call beta the game of the year. I'm trying to think what I've even played this year, guys. What came out this year? I forget. Oh wait,
Ratchet. Go ahead.
Ratchet is great. I love me some Ratchet. However, I think it's Resident Evil Village right now. I really
You need to say that.
yes, I enjoyed what I did with Resident Evil Village. I completely finished Resident Evil Village. Ratchet and Clank I have not beaten yet, so I need to freaking beat that game. I have not done that yet. Tisk tisk. But I absolutely love what I've played of it thus far, but I got to see it through before I can kind of compare it to Resident Evil. But I think we all know where my loyalties will lie come this holiday when Halo Infinite comes out. Just
When it gets delayed into January 2022.
Christian,
My goodness.
get out of here.
Gage, do you have a game of the year so far? And if you're ready to answer the TV question, please, by all means.
So the answer is the same for both. It's Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Oh, okay.
That's not out yet.
That
It's September.
game does look
You
awesome.
got me. Okay, so it's actually I was gonna say it's been a slow year, but I mean there's lots of stuff that I haven't been able to play. I haven't got my hands on a PS5 yet, so I haven't played Ratchet. I haven't played Returnal, which I really want to. I'm glad that you chose Returnal because fucking Housemarque deserves it, man. That's such a great game. I love seeing the glow up. Or Housemarque, as Sean likes to correctly but unsettlingly pronounce it. I think Resident Evil Village is a good pick. Shout out to Hitman 3. It was the best. I think it's the best Hitman game. I don't think Hitman is necessarily Game of the Year material. But I just did want to give a shout out to them because Hitman 3 was just the perfect evolution of everything they've been doing with the trilogy. Yeah, it's either Resident Evil Village or lending a hand or sort of giving a nod to the indies. I really enjoyed Little Nightmares 2. I really enjoyed Little Nightmares 2. I think that game is really great, especially on the theme of atmosphere and horror. Yeah, I think it might be that, either that or Resident Evil Village, one of the two.
Forgot about Little Nightmares this year. Yeah, that was a good one. And I'll just end off this part, and then we can get into the TV section.
Yeah.
My game of the year so far is probably I mentioned it earlier, but it's Everhood so far. That was a really unique experience for me. I love me some indie, so when one goes above and beyond, it's usually something that I cherish for a really long time. And it's a game that you could replay as well. So Everhood is definitely on my game of the year for sure. And like Gage, and I assume other people out there as well, I haven't gotten a PS5 yet, so there's quite a few games that I haven't been able to experience just yet. But definitely looking forward to Kena and Eastward later this year. Those have the potential to be my game of the year as well. But yeah, Sorry, I'm blanking. I had a brain fart there. But Daniel gave his TV answer for Outer Worlds being a great choice. I think that would be really cool. No, that's okay.
Guys.
That's okay. I know you're busy typing away and doing crazy stuff, multitasking over there.
Yes.
But that's good. We got one. Christian, I know you've got one as well. So what is your TV answer?
Okay, you're gonna have to stick with me for just a second, okay? It's a little bit of a walk here.
All right.
So, on an episode of Large Popcorn, I had the pleasure of talking to Emmett Watkins Jr.
The goat.
And we exactly. And we started talking about video game adaptations. Specifically, we're talking about movies here, but I think TV show could work given the I'll just say it. It would be a Netflix deal, right? And we were thinking Greta Gerwig directed. Remember when Netflix is doing all this stuff with Choose Your Own Adventure like Bandersnatch and Bear Grylls stuff? You bring that back for either a movie or in this case a TV show, and you adapt Life is Strange.
Yes.
I knew Ro would love this.
Yes.
And like Emmett, like credit to you, man. That was like the most brilliant idea you've ever had. And you could even bring it to theaters if it is going to be a movie. You could have different showtimes. Having different endings to, whatever episode you're doing, right? Whatever part. It could work. It's gimmicky, but it could work.
That would be really cool.
Heck yeah. Gage, do you have a TV or a game that you would like to see as a TV show or a movie that hasn't been adapted into either format yet?
I do. I have two answers, but one's quick and one's not. So
Okay.
I'll do.
Okay, no problem.
So the quick one is I want The Last of Us with Josh Brolin and Caitlin Dever as Joel and Ellie. That needs to happen. I'm excited to see what comes out. It's HBO. I have very little worries, but man, that it was right there. The ball was right there. You just had to hit it. Like, just I can't help it. As soon as I heard it was being made into a TV show, and I think Troy Baker actually said the same thing. I think Troy Baker said that he wanted Josh Brolin as Joel as well. But
sorry, Gage, but The Last of Us is brown, baby.
And it's not a racial thing, okay, people? I love Pedro Pascal, all right? He represents us kings that can't grow full beards, okay? He's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, me
I
too.
absolutely appreciate him, and I like Bella Ramsey as well. She's great in Game of Thrones. But this is the thing. We didn't see the audition, so obviously they did something right. Everybody's got to trust them a little bit. But I would be lying if I didn't say I didn't think about Josh Brolin and Caitlin Dever perfectly fitting those roles. But my actual answer is, and it sucks because it's a newer game, and I know it might seem a little bit obvious, but Red Dead Redemption 2. Or just that universe in general, because it already is a high quality TV show that you're playing, right? It's 60 hours long to get through the main campaign, 6 seasons, 10 episodes a season. Absolutely, you could do that. And you could probably adapt the game pretty close 1-to-1 because they pace that game pretty well in that something always happens. Something pretty interesting usually happens, every 10 or so hours. So I feel like that would lend itself really well. You could have the season that takes place on Tahiti that everybody hates and is like, it really lost its footing there. And then it comes back with the final season, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool. They redeem themselves. So yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. And my only qualm is that Rob Whiteoff has to be cast as John Marston. You can't have anyone else play him.
Wow.
I love that answer, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll go quickly because I have 2 answers, but my first one, I'm not even lying to you, Christian. Life is Strange was one of my answers, but not as deep and creative as Emmett and yours is idea. Mine was just like, it's going to be a terrible CW show and it's going to be super dark and it's going to be super trashy, but I'll love it because it's Life is Strange. But that was one of my answers. But of course, we went this far without me mentioning Destiny, but here we are.
Oh,
Destiny absolutely has to be a movie franchise akin to like something like Star Wars. It would be amazing. The story is there, guys. It's not in the game, but it's there, and it's really good. And if they had a format where it's just story, you don't have to worry about gameplay. Just have to make the story really good. I'm no doubt in my mind it would be an amazing epic that will have multiple sequels, and it would be awesome. I think a series like Destiny would make an awesome like movie franchise.
Movie franchise. Interesting that
Yeah.
you went specifically for movie franchise. Now I have a question for you. Would you hypothetically in this alternate universe, would you be okay with if the movie franchise existed and let's say it was successful, regardless of what people thought about it, would you prefer it if the game started going less story heavy and were more gameplay focused in terms of Destiny, and then you had the movies to sort of watch the lore for? Because that's my issue with Destiny, is that it never really sinks its teeth fully into the lore for me. It's always just like, oh, you get the story when you finish a quest or when you start a quest.
You got to read the
Right.
Grimoire cards.
Gotta read the
Remember those?
bestiary.
I I wouldn't want to that I mean that's just another Grimoire card situation to me. Like you have to watch the movies to get the story instead of it being already in the game. So I wouldn't want that to be the case.
Right.
If anything, I would want them to put that effort into the game and not have the movies at all. If I had to trade it off. But in my perfect world, I would just like more story in my Destiny game for sure, as opposed to the movie. But yeah.
Timo Plays says Days Gone and Splinter Cell, and he specifically says Blacklist style. Splinter
my
Cell.
God.
I would love that.
That's something cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Timo Plays is out here with bangers after bangers. Splinter Cell Blacklist specifically, that would make a great TV series, or even like a mini series, like one and done, the story of Blacklist, and that's it.
Who gave this question, Ro? This should have just been topic of the show right here.
Yeah, this is one I found to look up. Yeah,
it's an anonymous viewer.
not yes.
See, this is specifically dangerous for me, and I'm guessing for Christian as well, because I am passionate about movies and video games equally. So when this conversation comes up, and it comes up regularly, I get really heated because I just or not heated, but like passionate, I guess, because it's like the perfect intersection of both the things I love. This should have been topic of the show. I could talk about TV movie adaptations for video games all day long.
For another day.
Remember when they were teasing? We thought it was gonna be a Splinter Cell game. I don't know. We saw Sam Fisher. He was an agent in Rainbow Six, but he came out in like that cool anime style game, like whatever announcement video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For a solid week, I wanted a Sam Fisher Splinter Cell anime.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna think.
They're making now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Fisher, is that the guy from X Defiant?
Yes, I think so.
I hate
Oh,
you
wow.
guys.
Great.
I hate you guys.
Oh yeah.
Great
The guy with the goggles. Right. Okay. Yeah.
No,
This
that's
is
from
first
Call of Duty.
appearance, yeah.
Where is Splinter Cell, Yubi?
We've made it, dedicated viewers. We
Yes.
have made it to the giveaway section of the podcast. And for now, I will turn it over to you, Daniel. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Daniel, take it away.
Yes, we've made it. We've made it. It's been a long trek uphill here, but we've made it. We've made it into the giveaways. All right. I'm putting this on the screen here. This is a random number generator. So essentially I have the tweets pulled up here. I just have to click on retweeted by, and then I'm going to pick a random number, and essentially I'm going to count down. I know this is not the best way to do it, but this is the way I'm going to do it. So we're going to do numbers 1 to 35 on the first giveaway, this is for the 3-month Game Pass Ultimate code. There's 35 people who retweeted, so let me put in 35 here. All right, here we go. A little drum roll, please, ladies and gents. Here we go. And the number. What are the odds of that? 1. The number is 1. What is the odds of that?
1 in 35, I'd guess.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the first person is Dehiraj Chan. I probably butchered that name, and I apologize, but I will reach out to you on Twitter for 3-month Game Pass Ultimate code. And then we are also going to give away some t-shirts, guys, and this is if people want these. And I guess I better write this down somewhere, otherwise I'll end up forgetting. So Diraj is getting that. And then, so this is going to be for a t-shirt. I was going to do 2 for each retweet for giveaways for each tweet. But Roro's dad requested a shirt, and he is literally our #1 fan. So I'm giving him one of those shirts that I was going to give away.
Yay.
So Roro's
Aw,
dad.
shucks. You'll be happy to hear that.
Yes. Which I'll get with you after the show, Road, to get that stuff. All
Rose
right.
Dad, I'm sorry I cussed during the show.
Oh my God,
He's
Rose Dad, I'm
okay.
sorry, I cussed a lot. I'm
He is
so
okay
sorry.
with it, trust me. He's fine with it.
All right, so here's for a t-shirt on this same tweet, same number 8. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got Swift Racing is on there, so he gets a t-shirt. And let me also preface this with, if anybody in the chat wants a t-shirt and I'm reaching out to these people on Twitter and they don't want the t-shirt, let me know and I will reach out to you instead to get you a t-shirt if these people on Twitter don't want them. So because I'm not sure how clear people were that, you know, they could win t-shirts or not, and they may not want it. So we'll see. So that's the first one. Now we're going to go over to the other tweet here, which is for the $25 Xbox gift card, ladies and gents. And this has, wow, this has a lot more retweets than I thought. I hope it doesn't go all the way up there when I pick this number. 52 retweets. Okay, so this is going to be 1 to 52.
Diresh cannot win this one. He's already won the other thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, exactly. If he retweeted this as well and he somehow wins again, we'll pick someone else. So, all right, here we go. 1 to 52. What number are we getting? 24. All right. This is going to be an exciting countdown to 50 or to
I'm rooting
24.
for Timo plays.
Yes, I am as well. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, there's Timo plays 22,
Yeah.
23, 24.
Oh,
Sorry, Timo. You're a little off from it. So Italo 1990. He gets the Xbox Game Pass, or I'm sorry, $25 Xbox gift card. So put him in here. And then from the same list, I'm going to pick 2 more people for t-shirts from this list as well. So let's do another one here. Generate number 4.
Timo.
Number 4. Number 4 is Elvar. Elvar FN t-shirt. Okay. And then we've got one more t-shirt to give away here. Let's see what we get here. Watch, the last one's going to be 52, and I have to... Well, I guess I wouldn't have to count.
Well,
I
you
just
wouldn't have to
scroll
count.
down. Yeah.
Scroll all the way.
Good point. All right. 19. Ooh, that's close to where Timo was. Let's see. 1, 2, 3,
I think that might be
4,
I think it might be
5,
Timo.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm not kidding. It is Timo. I'm not
let's
joking.
go,
I'm not
boys.
joking. It is Timo plays.
That's awesome. Yay. I'm
That
so
is
happy
a-
you got something.
This is not
That's
rigged.
awesome.
I should have did a screen cap on this other browser window, but I swear it is not rigged. That is insane that it was the exact same. Wow. All right. So, Timo, if you would like a shirt, I will reach out to you on Twitter to get the shirt. So,
I just started following Timo. Another Oregon homie. What up, man?
yeah. All right. Well, that's all of our giveaways, guys. And also, we are giving a t-shirt to, of course, Christian, one of our other co-hosts. So, Christian, I'll get your info after the show so we can get that sent out. And also, I told Gage that I would give him one as well because he is our only guest host that has appeared on this show, and I felt that he was a part of this family, so I will send him one as well. So, awesome stuff, guys. Yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about before we close out the show here?
Timo plays. You need to drop your @ for Twitter in the chat real quick so I can follow you.
I think
That's where all Timo plays.
I think it's Timo Plays on Twitter as well, I think is what I saw. Timo Plays TP is his Twitter name.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ro and Dan for inviting me on. Like, it's so fun talking video games with you guys every week. Like, I love it. Sorry, I was nervous that the first time I hosted and got like really sweaty.
No.
Otherwise, like, it's been fun.
Yes. Heck yeah. And I want to thank Daniel as well for inviting me on back then as well. I wasn't here from the get either, so very thankful for inviting me on so I could be a part of PXN as well.
You know what, Ro? You were there from the start. You were in the comments of the first episode because I was like, my God, anybody watching this first episode, I feel so bad for because it was awful. It was terrible. So, yes, thank you. Thank you guys for joining me and creating this wonderful family we have now. So, it's crazy. 100 episodes, never could have imagined it in a million years. So, yeah, and thank you to everyone watching us as well. So, without further ado, Gage, thank you for joining us on this special episode 100 episode. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I mean, this is you're very, very kind, and you guys, a bunch of good dudes talking about video games. Yeah, you love it. You love to see it.
Absolutely. So that's it, guys. Thank you to everyone joining us both live on YouTube and on Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. Thank you, Roro, Christian, Sean, who has left us, and Gage. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, episode 100, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.
I love you.
Adios.